So this morning, I had to take the car up to Guardamar. The air conditioning units went on the car. So they said to me, they'll call me later today. Is that before 2 o'clock? And they then closed for siesta. The great Spanish siesta. Until 4 o'clock. So do I spend the day in Guardamar exploring? Let's go and see what we can find in Guardamar Del Segura. First thing I want to do is grab a coffee, and then I want to head up here to even get up to this castle turret type thing. So it's Friday the 21st. It's Karen's day off, so she's not with me. She's wanting to relax this morning, and I wasn't too sure whether I was going to get a taxi back down to Torrevieja or not. But I think I might just take the time just to explore a little bit of Guardamar. Whose idea was it to climb a hill at this time in the morning? It's 23 degrees already. These views better be worth it. God, I remember they used to have that back home. 70s and 80s, stop people climbing in. I'm sure they made it illegal. It's one way to stop people climbing over your wall down into your house, mind you. God, I wouldn't be jumping over there. I suppose you could get onto the roof, but why would you? One bit that says no entry. So let's go and see. Let's go and see if we can see something around the front of the castle. It's basically closed. And it's very uninspiring, as they say. It would have been good to try and get up to the top of it, but we better not. You can see, well, that is actually the sea, but the sea and the clouds are kind of touching today, so it is a bit cloudy. Probably see up towards Santa Pola, I would have thought. Or Gran Alicante, not sure. Well, was that worth it? Let's go and get a coffee. Basically a big metal fence stopping you getting in. Maybe if we just go up this way and see if we can get a bit higher. You obviously won't get inside. Very strange and very quiet, and then you hear the odd groan and moan of a voice. And it's 10 o'clock in the morning. Reminds me of being locked in and COVID. Nobody about. Can't even hear a soul. There's someone in. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 10 AM, and I think we're at the top. You can't seem to get into the castle bit, but there is this path that goes round it that you can walk up and round. And I've got to say, if the skies were a bit clearer, you would see right down the coast. So let's just walk around. I can see the garage where the car is. Even better. Now I'll just sit here and watch them doing the work on the car. Maybe not, I need that coffee. So this path goes right round it. And it basically does just go right round it. isn't the best castle that I've been to see. But what it is it's quite epic that it's quite high up. And the fact that they probably dragged all these stones up from somewhere and have quarried them out. And you see the church there. And you can understand why they build forts on high ground like this, the same as they did in Alicante, and the same as they have up and down the coast of Spain. And like they do back in Scotland, with obviously Edinburgh Castle and Stirling Castle. So it's time to head into town, grab a coffee, see what the town's like, and then head down the beachfront, because if you haven't been to the beachfront in Guardamar, it is quite spectacular. It's just so long, it's just huge. So we're back round the front, and I reckon we need to go down these stairs. These actually reminded me of the steps going down the stairs at the Grass Market in Edinburgh. You've got to love little Spanish towns like Guardamar. It's absolutely beautiful. Just in the centre of the town somewhere, just in a little square. So it's a sad reflection on the UK, because something like this in the UK would probably have been vandalised in some way. And they even have the drinking tap. I wonder if it still works. And it does. There you go. Free water. They used to have them in it and back home. But love it. Streets just closed off. Cement truck waiting. Another truck. No shit's given. And I think I found my way down to what we in the UK would call the High Street. You can smell the coffee. It always makes you wonder with little towns like this, what size is actually population and what size is actually holiday apartments. I know down the front there's lots of holiday apartments. We have found a civilization. Yeah. Now this is what you call a breakfast. So this is a nice little place for breakfast. Con cajeta? So that was the place over there, Movilan Snack Bar. We went for breakfast. So what I'm going to do now, I'm probably going to head down the waterfront. There is a bar that I know down here. They'll probably not be open yet, but I'm going to head down that way anyway, just to see what's going on. One thing I notice about little Spanish towns like this that are in complete contrast to back home in Scotland and probably the rest of the UK is this is the sort of main high street, and there's not really many empty shops. No, there's lots of little independent shops, which is really good. I mean, there's a little shoe shop. It is starting to come more to life now, but that is one of the big major differences that you see here in Spain compared to the UK, is the little independent guys are still keeping on going. The supermarkets haven't killed them off just yet. So get off the main street. There is only really the one street going through Guardamar, so it's quite surprising that you would have any shops on that. But let's take a walk down. There is a park down this way we'll have a look at. But yeah, that was a really good breakfast. It was €5.50 for a really nice bit of cake and coffee. So I've came across a bit of Guardamar that I never even knew existed. We've got a little park area. We've also got the walkway. There's a restaurant there. There's a kebab shop. And as we pan round this way, you've got the Gorilla Grill. It's a restaurant. And then you've got Verona, which is a pizzeria restaurant. It's all very nice. Nice relaxing space in the middle of the town. And as we go around the corner, there's a wine shop over there. And I think this road should take us to where I want to go. And there's another pizza place. What is it about pizza and kebab shops in Spain? Ah, perfect. I can see the sea. There is a lot more bars around these sort of areas here. Tapas bar there. And another restaurant. There's always lots of houses for sale in Guardamar as well. It's the type of place, that's a supermarket. It is the type of place that can be really quiet during the winter season, which can be really good if you ask me. And then it's absolutely mobbed during the summer. I think it even has a karaoke bar. Property prices in Guardamar. 136,000 for a bungalow. There's another bungalow, 165,000. There's an apartment for 275,000. There's another apartment for 315,000 for an apartment. Wow. So some crazy price ranges in Guardamar. There's one at 105,000 in an apartment. There must be something really special about something, but there's a house, a really modern house for 399,000 euros. So they go from people wanting far too much for an apartment, 300,000, to more luxury type modern homes at 300, 200,000 euros. Is there going to be another crash in the financial markets in Spain? Is there going to be another property price crash? I don't really think so. People say that the UK market isn't buying as much, which is understandable due to Brexit. The Brits aren't buying, but the Brits were really buying the cheaper end of the market. People that I'm speaking to are saying that the Norwegians, the Swedish, people from Finland, Germany, Holland, are buying more expensive and newer apartments. What people have to remember is everyone in Europe comes to the Med for holidays. It's not just the Brits. You know, too many people say that, oh, Spain's done without the British pound. But in reality, the properties that are selling are the newer ones that are more expensive. £300,000, 300,000 euros, should I say. Anyway, that's enough of property. We'll do that. Talk about that in another video. Let's have a look at the beach in Guardamar Del Segura. Okay, you're just randomly walking along the street, and there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 peacocks. Can peacocks fly? Or will they just jump the fence?
Mira, uno ahí dentro, otro ahí arriba. Mira.
Why did the peacock cross the road? Because there was a woman in a wheelchair about to knock her over.
Porque las hembras son diferentes. La hembra es de diferente color. Sí. Sí, sí.
Ah, there we go. They're making a run. And you can just tell that these are just holiday apartments. There's not a sign of life. So we are here. Still has the chairs. They obviously don't go away here until the end of the month also. The Chernquito. That word I couldn't say yesterday in the video. Nobody picks it up either. Now that's rather impressive. So between June and September there's no fishing from the beach. If your umbrella is left unattended, it will be removed. I think this is the bit where the first aiders and that were during the summer, not really sure. So it looks like the cloud is going to break and we're going to get some sun. So it's actually busier down the waterfront than it was in the town. People all getting out to sunbathe for the day, having breakfast and stuff. There is a bit just along from this bit of beach here where the houses got washed into the sea. Basically because the houses sit right on the beach and they were damaged by a storm. So I'm going to just walk down this way a bit. They've all been taken away, the road's been taken away. I think it's maybe in an earlier video from well over a year ago. I'll try and have a look for it. But as we go around, you'll see why the houses got washed away. See, this is a man-made beach, this bit, and you can see how close the houses are to the actual sea. And all it takes is one good storm and half the front end of your house is washed away. I admit though, sitting here at night, listening to the waves, having a little barbecue on one of these terraces would be amazing. And it looks like the properties here have tried to put in some kind of flood defence. I've got to say, these rocks are nothing, they'll get washed away. Back home in Kirkcaldy they spent £7 million on something similar. The rocks were about 30 times bigger than this. But these are old little cottages in Guardamar. Been here for ages, I would have thought. Some of them probably the best part of nearly 100 years. They've actually got their one looking really nice with plants and that outside. So there obviously has been some remedial work done to try and stop the houses getting washed away. This is all really good. You can see the brick going right along and then right along to there. Right along at this bit here is the part that was actually washed away. So we'll have a look at that. This bit's actually the restaurant and it's not the houses that got washed away. Yeah, the beach is basically just there and I've got this restaurant and you can walk back into town. Walk along this way. It is quite a bit of a long walk. If you walk along this road here, you would see where the house is that basically collapsed into the water. So from the new to the old of Guardamar, from the industrial estate to the old castle, if you could call it a castle, yes it is a castle by name, to the old rundown properties on the seafront. Spain. The land of the chilled. Sit back, relax and enjoy life. And on that note, if you haven't watched the video where we're set a challenge by a bar owner, watch that video here. And if you haven't watched the video of us driving to Spain, watch that here also. Hasta luego. The strangest little things in Spain. Above the doorway to this old building is a painting of the Last Supper.